Yeah. I'm so sorry. I got to do something about this. All right. And you know what I have learned? How to breathe. When you are tired, how many people know how to take a deep breath and relax? Ah, okay. Tell me, how would you do it?
Usually, I step outside.
Ah, okay.
And there is a nice curve, which I'm going to sit down.
When you're going to stretch, you're going to do something.
Yeah.
But Dr. Willis on TV, I don't know whether it works or not, he has a formula of 4, 7, and 8. And he said if you, before you get out of bed, breathe 3 or 4 times, get the oxygens in your body on before you go to sleep. And it really helped. So I have trouble with the 7. What it means is that 4 is breathing in through your nose, hold it, count 4, 7, and blow out 8 so that you see you are doing the diaphragm breathing. Last one, number 3. Isn't that good? Oh, so good. When we were in Taiwan, I have to go back to
Today you were in a box.
we had about 400 people in the auditorium. And after a whole morning course lecture, and after lunch, they're all falling asleep, right? That should be. So I asked the congregation, the audience, anybody know how to do stretching exercises? So there's a professional person who came up, and they had a huge stage, and I took a picture of that. It was so beautiful. You get it's got universities, and you've got the Fugong, you know, the Buddhist university, and in the front rows you get these nuns in their habits, and then you have these priests and all the monks, and they all go like this. It was so beautiful, just lovely. And after that, I could shake it all out, and then they're all ready for the next lecture, 3 hours long. All right, we have 55 minutes, and we're going to do some integration of what you have learned, and also to process some of the things that you have taken in that you haven't had a chance to do it individually. So I told you about that picture. I do have papers, I'm a crayon, whatever. I'm going to ask you to do that at the very end. And before that, Teresa, I have, out of the goodness of her heart, she's going to design an exercise and for us. So it's a mystery. I don't know anything what she's doing, but I assume it's going to be safe and effective. Okay? Safe and effective. Okay. And she's going to give you some instructions.
Just a little preliminary. Oh, okay. A little preliminary of what we will be doing later on when we go downstairs. Okay, you will see a sand tray. Okay, and then each one of you here, this is wrapped up in a presents look like. However, you cannot take it home because they belong to the playroom from Dr. Wong there. So when you finish with this, just leave it whatever they are on the sand tray, okay? When you unwrap them, okay, from a figurine, they're all figurines in here, okay? When you unwrap them from the figurine, they become a symbol to the person who is holding it exclusively, okay? However you see the symbol to you, that's what it is. So if you look at the other person's figurine, because not your symbol, there might be a so-called universal understanding or stereotypical understanding of the particular figurine. But that's your own business, okay? Because that person might not choose what that understanding as their symbol. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so I have no idea which figurine you're going to be picking and how you're going to use it as your symbol. So once you do that, take your turn and then place it inside the sand tray. Okay, and you can mold the sand, you can move the sand, and when you finish it, the other person put another one in there. It will become like a collective, like a community art. Okay, and then I will let you know what the next step is. All right, shall we go downstairs? Oh, I forgot housekeeping. One more thing. Those of you who have been sitting all day, hello, I'm back. I don't even know whom I'm looking at, except you guys, right? There are some chairs set up. So those of you who just want to just sit on the comfortable on the floor there with the carpet is fine. And those of you who are more comfortable with the chairs, then by all means. But they don't have this exact same number of chairs as you have now. So just keep that in mind. Okay? All right.
Bring some chairs downstairs.
That's enough.
Okay.
You will be doing all right?
How many steps?
Okay.
How many steps?
How many steps?
There's quite a few.
Can we?
I'm not sure you have class.
No, it's all set up.
Yeah. And let's see.
Shall we do that? You think we're gonna try? As long as you don't disturb another person's symbol by taking them out, that's all. Yeah, just don't touch their symbol.
Can you, I'm going to participate. Just for a few, it's for a minute. The audio is on here. I'll be right back down.
Okay. Someone can make it in back there, please? Yeah.
And the best way to view your tray is from this angle, because this is how you project out to the world.
I can't see it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. You can lift up your symbol and reshape the environment. That's fine. Thank you. Well, you cannot remove another person's symbol, but you can connect to that symbol. Even this, you can go in proximity, on top, or next to it.
This was my next question.
Yeah. And also for, I forgot the lingo. I am not doing any interpretation. Okay?
If you want a hand, steady these tensions. Stable, but it's only on two points that are stable. No? Yeah, maybe put it on a table. Yeah, go ahead. It's not that heavy. Okay, on the table, right behind it. Or turn it sideways.
This way?
This way.
It's reversed.
It's reversed, yeah. Maybe I should put it on top of this. What do you think? Get a more perspective down on it?
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
Go back.
Also, I want to mention too, sometimes we, our literal interpretation, when I say do not remove people's symbol, if we accidentally knock off, to reconstruct, it's no harm done. Okay.
That's a good one. Oh. Okay, now you changed the picture for me now. Okay.
Also in the sand, underneath is blue. Okay, so if you want any form that represents a symbol of water, you just remove them. Then you get water underneath. Okay. So I forgot to tell you that symbol.
No harm done.
No harm done. Yeah. Ask the person, or you can put it where it's. Who's the
Mine.
Okay.
Who's the
Would you
lovely
please
plume?
would you be able to put it where you originally put it, or wherever you want to put it now? Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We keep this a dry tray, otherwise we could have pour water in it to make it easier to, but let's not do it. We can use our imagination, okay?
That's why I don't have a wet here.
And I can do nothing. You know, just eliminate my option. You see?
It's a negative projection.
That was a little bit slow.
25 after.
Okay, calling once. Calling, all right.
I just realized I'm not. There we go.
Calling once. Calling twice. Last chance.
Sold.
So we'll leave the picture the way it is. Now it formalizes a picture. Okay. Picture tells us a collective symbol or individual story. And they say the view go by the century part is from the front. Okay, from the front. You might get other objective view from the peripheral or also from the side. So take turn to see from the front and also from your surroundings. So if you, after you see from the front, you can go around and take a look at different angles.
I'm just actually going to turn it because even upstairs so we can see it the right way.
Anything person?
Oh.
And that is called a boundary violation.
And that you only deal with someone that you're really close with.
Bad idea.
I know, and when you snore, I'm really a lot too much. I even say to myself.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's okay, you can walk in front of it. It's fine.
See, from every angle, you just. I'm trying to see all the people, but here. No. This is, you do that in overpowered. It's kind of, nothing else, don't even expect to
Sounds like Steve.
Okay, once you have, is any more viewing? Okay, then may I have the audience over to that side there? And, yeah, right. Yeah, please, thank you.
Okay.
Do this one. This is I can switch it up. Okay, yeah. Okay. As I say, when you look at the collective composition here, there might be a story you have in mind. Okay, and there might be also you might feel something particularly when you see another person move their symbol and that totally change your story or your own assumption of what the larger story might be. Okay, so given all those, and there's also might be something in the unconscious that we might not know at this moment while we're watching other people put things on or while we were doing it. But at this moment, in your conscious level, think about some adjectives. From this morning till now, through those lectures, those discussions, the interaction that you have with your colleagues here, and also the process the little process we did with the century, voice out a couple adjectives and then Raja's going to put onto the board here.
Generous.
Eclectic. Eclectic. Generous, eclectic.
Collaborative.
Sorry, I heard kind.
Calming.
Calming, a calming. And then collaborative,
Individual.
individual,
Surprising.
surprising, individual surprising. Anything that just come up, popped up in your mind.
Painful.
Painful,
Exciting.
exciting,
Creative. Powerful.
creative, and powerful.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Harmonized.
Harmonize.
Respectful.
Respectful.
Was it your? Togetherness. Connectedness. Confusing.
Confusing.
Questioning.
Questioning.
Judgmental.
Judgmental.
Accepting. The Asian smack.
What do you remember in this whole course?
I certainly remember it.
Okay, let's give it three more. Three more adjectives that just popped up.
Fine.
Two more.
Playful. Relaxing.
Nobody talk about self.
Oh, let's put it down.
Self.
Individual, yeah.
Individual.
But self
You
is
said
different.
can be. Yeah, let's put self up there.
Disturbing.
Yeah, right.
If it's symmetrically, I can have four more. Flexible, I can also end flexible. So, yeah. Calling once.
Flexible is there.
Oh.
Peaceful. Humorous. Reflective.
I really want to be specific to the whole thing.
Exactly.
No, I think we're done.
Possibility.
Oh, no,
Put it in the middle.
Yeah,
Symmetry.
No.
Ongoing, continuous.
Yeah.
I just trying to balance it.
Continuous, is that the word?
Yeah.
Sorry? Is that the word?
Fluid?
You mean
Evolving.
do you mean dot to be continued?
Evolving.
Constant change.
Yeah.
Evolving?
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
General consensus.
That was more feeling than a word, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna do judgment call. Could we just skip this for a moment here? Now, a short phrase. A short phrase that just popped in your mind. It don't have to be grammatically correct. It's just a phrase, whatever the phrase may be. Let's do it again.
About the event or any phrase.
From 9 o'clock till now.
About the event.
Yeah, that's right. From 9 o'clock till now. It can be at any specific area this morning. Talk about transference, countertransference, projective, and everything encompassed during today.
There's one.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And the person who offered the phrase, they might be a particular moment they focus. And let's just leave the assumption away which moment they are addressing.
I would go with that. That's kind of where I think, aha, I need more.
This is really good for me.
I am so glad you're doing the scribing.
Coping with ambiguity.
Coping with ambiguity.
How to deal with difficult people.
How to deal with difficult people.
I just realized something.
You just realize something.
I just realized something.
I just realized something.
Wanting more clarity.
Wanting more clarity. Wanting more clarity.
And say desire for more.
Desire for more.
Appreciating the work.
Appreciating the work.
I love my job.
I love my job.
What was that? I love my job.
That's good.
You say it more. Just in case it gets
Should I say the Oreo?
The essence of connection.
The essence of connection.
Sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging.
Knowing my limitations. Knowing my limitations.
Knowing my limitation.
I love counselors.
Can you repeat the question for what answer that was asked?
Oh.
Just repeat for the camera.
Yeah, what we're doing.
What we're doing,
Right,
not
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I love counselors.
I'm a counselor.
Yeah.
We simply ask. We ask the participant to give a phrase, whatever popped up from the mind regarding this morning to now.
Events.
Are you going to say a question for the previous sheet also?
I'm sorry?
There is a previous.
Oh, the adjectives. You want to repeat for the previous adjective? Okay.
Jeff,
They need the value.
It was meant to short-term comic relief. So let's come back here.
Offering a ping pong pattern.
Where is the frog?
We have room for 3 more.
Oh my gosh. Give peace a chance.
That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give peace the chat.
Oh, yes. Connecting with the, I guess, connecting with the meaning of why I do what I do. Yeah.
Connecting
more
with
about
the
me.
meaning.
Where am I coming from? Yeah.
You
Of
change
why
it.
I do
Okay,
what
finalize it. Let's finalize it. Connecting with the meaning
of why I do what I do.
of why I do what I do. Okay, connecting with the meaning of why I do with what I do.
What I do. Loving the
With what I do?
With what I do.
I do what I do.
Why I do
Why I do what I do, or why I do with what I do?
No. Take out the with.
Well, that's hers. That's hers. That's hers. Yeah.
Sorry. It sounds like what syllable? First syllable?
Connecting with the meaning of why I do with what I do.
Or with
Oh, never thought about that one. It was written, but that's good.
You taking it? Okay.
You take it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's yours. All right.
Please show for the word.
Mine, actually.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A lot of times there is an experience or something that is the unconscious may not be that silent. They might come out in terms of a sound, okay? And sometimes the internal sound we can hear it. And being a human, we can actually hear concrete sound. We cannot go into the unconscious there and really hear the different realm. So just looking at these phrases here, if there's a particular sound that come out from within, feel free to express that. And I will use my imaginary recording to lock it, because she cannot write it down. However, I do offer one opportunity. I'm going to read this because all yours you will know all these. May I have that? Yeah. When you hear that sound, okay, if you felt I could connect it with a shape, by all means, draw the shape of that sound. Okay. That sound can be a rhythm, can be just simply a sound. Okay.
Like we're gonna do a sound?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yes, if that is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. From this, the whole day, and then you have done the adjectives, and then you have done a phrase describing your experience of the day. Let's give the sound. And it does not have to be a single sound. Please do not sing me 5-minute song or American Pie 8 minutes long. Not today.
I'll leave her that.
Yeah.
That's where she goes.
I can make a sound for what we are.
Okay.
I am. I am a soul. So the word for it is, and it's resonated as. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Really provide explanation for her sound. Thank you. For others, it's not necessary for you. If you want to just simply express a sound, you have a choice of providing explanation of it or not. Okay. Now, anybody have an impulse of sketching the sound?
That's cool.
Could you provide a sound?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to do it every time? Okay.
Just this one more.
Okay.
Would you be able to do the sound one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, before you do that, would someone have the impulse to actually shape that sound? That use your body to shape that sound? If that impulse is there, the floor is yours.
Ready to bed.
Is that the shape of it?
I know.
Is that how it works?
There's one up.
I can do that. If nobody's forthcoming, then I'll go with the gesture here. And I will talk to it also. In one of the yogas, which is yoga, the left is about past, right is about the future. Balance in all three, so we can live in the present. Most of our work about our parents or us, people who sit before us, as being in the past or worried about the future. And it also goes in the cycle of fear, doubt, and worry. So when we bring it together, and I'm not going to say because I really have very bad moments. Okay, here we go.
Lisa, can you stay there? Can you just hold your position too? Yeah. To close, just stay where you are. Do not move where you are. I'm going to move this away, okay? She just started a part of a sculpture. So also if you feel, okay, you want to add to this sculpture, by all means, then add to it. So it become a picture. Let's go to the body sculpture. Do not hurt yourself, okay? Self-care. And may I create a no-fly zone so that we're definite.
Okay, well, since there. Okay.
Great, yeah. So it's a little bit of a stage room.
Working together. It's okay.
And you can relax too and put it down and put it back up, okay? Adding to it. Yeah. Remember, this is your adding to it. Okay? It's not other people's picture, it's your own, okay? Yeah. Relax. Yeah. You need to stretch your strength. You can do that too. Yeah. And for people who are doing the shape, if you have the impulse to change the shape, by all means. I'm going to finish, just going to come over, and then when I tap you, okay, just make a sound or say a word, whatever comes out, okay? Do not use your cognitive. Just let it come. You don't know where I'm going to tap you. Ready. Mindful. Mindful.
Balance.
balance,
Kindness.
kindness,
Present.
essence,
Present.
presence,
Togetherness.
togetherness. Okay. If you need to relax, relax. Someone have to just impulsively say a title of this picture.
Zen.
Zen.
No, Zen.
Z-E-N.
Spirituality.
Spirituality.
Calm.
Calm,
Peaceful.
peaceful,
Unity.
unity.
Mother Earth.
Mother Earth. Okay, relax, please. We are not going to process this. However, you have opportunity to do some processing work on your own, is to do the self-reflective one, okay, and then also to draw the picture the earlier that Dr. Wong suggested. Okay.
And I have crayons, color pencils, do whatever you need to do. We have 10 minutes.
Okay, so you can do that. Another thing is to how when your symbol, when somebody come in here, how does it affect your soul? Those are the ones that might be bring up some disturbance. Okay, think about how would that relate to in terms of your work. Okay, when things that is the path to go, and yet surprise, which we saw that word up there. Right? So that reflective sheet there, I believe, have places for you to put something there. So there's 10 minutes left, right, Dr. Wong? 10 minutes left.
Almost
Almost
15.
15.
Almost 15.
Almost 15. What do you mean almost 15?
Okay, 13 minutes.
Oh, 13 minutes. Oh, okay. So,
Between 10 and 15.
okay. So the choices is, oh, I thought we're done. We just like we're full past something, right? Oh, sorry. Okay, since we have 13 precious minutes here.
12 and a half.
Anyhow, we can briefly, in those minutes, talk about what your response was, your experience with the symbol putting into sanctuary. And remind there's about over 14 of you here, so it can't go over a minute. Yeah.
So now you want us to do that, or did you want?
It's up to you. I'm asking a consensus. If we want to talk about your process there, then we can do it, or you can go ahead and do your drawing.
I think the center.
I think it would take me longer to think and reflect for that kind of activity, but maybe not.
You
for other
can take all
people.
that drawing home and then you could bring it back next time.
Okay.
But with that, what I noticed was I found out that somebody had put theirs close to mine, and I liked it. So I kept going back to see if that changed, because I wouldn't move mine unless that little thing next to mine came with me. So it was like, why am I so stuck on this? Just move it. I was like, no, I'm going to leave it where it is. You know, I just couldn't move it without that coming with me. You know, it wasn't even my piece. So then so I kept going back and seeing what's changed. I had a need to know. You know?
Thank you.
With my symbol, I have perfect vision of like a star, meaning the universe. Then somebody just complete my vision, not yet. Put the scorpion in, which it's the symbol of the zodiac. Then I saw the horse. I was like, perfect. My universe is just almost complete. Then somebody took the scorpion out. Steve, overpower me, jumping on my star and just staying there. So my vision is just. Oh.
Yeah, the universe.
You just described the universe.
Honestly.
Really?
That was the universe.
Just wish we could mind read
You
you.
feel like the weight of the world
Yeah,
on your
just wish you
shoulders?
could
You
mind
should
read
read my mind.
So I was okay. I'm pretty easygoing for the most part, generally. So, people are going, like, oh, maybe I should look. It doesn't really matter. Then I seen this figure that had like a cross. It reminded me of a tombstone. I was like, maybe I should move that. I'm kind of superstitious. But then as I had that feeling, you said go around the table. And then as I was going around the table, I didn't get that feeling. So I just left it.
And I was trying to figure out, why would you put that there? I needed to try and make sense of what I was looking at to come away with some kind of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it was just a jumble. So I spent a lot of time kind of going, why would you put that there? What does this mean? It's interesting that I didn't automatically just say, well, it is what it is.
I did that too, and I was happy when Holly moved away over by the water.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it was the
You had it
wagon.
in the corner.
I put the hill in the corner with the wagon on it because I thought, well, I'm at a point in my life where I've pulled kind of a load, right? And now I want it kind of coming downhill because that's easier, right? So I'm at a point in my life where
so that's what that was
So I was doing all this, like, overthinking and whatever, and then I went over and I went, man, Miss Piggy's in the sandbox. I love the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally disregarded all of my deep thinking and attached it to Miss Piggy just because I think the Muppets are cool.
Something to pull along.
That's right, yeah, I thought, she's strong enough to pull it.
I'm sure that the person with that little thing next to mine
Yeah.
didn't realize how much that was influencing my next move. They just went, yeah.
That thing that's mine?
Well, the feather thing, I coveted the feather thing.
Oh, you
I
covered
was looking
her.
for a way to bring that. I
Coveted.
coveted that.
I was wondering why you were going close up to the feathers.
Yeah, I was trying to strategize, but my thing was, whoever put that there probably didn't even think how this would be influencing me. I think we do that, don't we? We go through life not realizing that an innocent or glib thing has really a profound effect on each other.
And just how we can flip, like, okay, so the on the hill when I was kind of doing all of my thinking was the adult me, but as soon as I seen the Muppets, that it was like, oh, the child me, right? It's like, screw the adult.
Go play.
And go and hook on to my, childish stuff, which, Miss Piggy in the Sandbox, it's the Muppets, right? But yeah, it's interesting.
It's so interesting because I had Miss Piggy, and I made my modification early before you had mentioned you can connect and change and put things together as long as you don't move other people.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching all of these people she put the horse down over the fence and all of this stuff, and I was feeling very alone. I was like, why didn't I think to connect with somebody or touch something else? I was feeling very alone. So when Holly moved her wagon, it brought this huge sense of I'm actually not alone, and somebody connected to me, and okay, I'm okay now. I feel more part of the group. So it was interesting that for you something was so childlike, accessing and playful, and for me it was
I went into your adult space, and I went into the child space.
Yeah.
So I moved it.
Yeah. So it's just very interesting how that, I don't know, how I responded to that movement.
Yeah.
Of something.
Psychodynamic.
What's funny about us doing this exercise is that it makes sense to us. But I was wondering if I brought in an IT person or accountant. Yes.
And that's why I
They need
And that's why my comment was, I love counselors, because there's no way, I love counselors because only we can sit in a room and go, wow. So like your wagon was a what? Wow.
IT people get smacked.
Just bring one on that.
He's probably looking at us going like, you guys are really loopy.
If this room is full of IT people, or this room is full of totally different occupation, are these words specifically just for counselors?
No, the words look normal.
I understand, but those are the adjectives come up from our day experience.
Yeah.
But that means these can also be the adjectives come up from a totally different.
That's a really good point, Teresa. That's really insightful. Yeah.
And I think that the perspective, if we take that, you know, engineers or accountants, taking that world view, would they use those words, or would the words be different? Because I think we're all, you know, self-referential. I only see through my eyes.
We have an IT guy here. Let's ask him.
Well,
I put it
this is
down
what
on
we
the
do. It's what we do.
I don't want to get hit again.
We'll protect. I understand, but that's also another thing earlier you talked about the timing when we interpretate, and in general, a lot of times even research is go by how can you generalize it to the general population. Any of these words, when you look at individually, even collaboratively, if I mix it, okay, it can go beyond this room. Yeah, and even these phrases, okay, some are more specific because now they become, other than single word, it's more meaningful now. Okay? Then come to story, even more specific. Just have that thought. Yeah. Another thing I want to finish with that is there's different adventures here. There are some surprises, and there's some surprises. Yeah. Regardless, in that terms, how we experience this particular activities. Okay. I didn't see anything object these words. Some of them might and might not fit you, but you see the majority of the words are fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means that whatever that might be, we feel a little disturbing part of it, let it sit, sleep over it, and see what kind of discovery you have, and we have next week.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Now the ball will be back to Dr. Wong.
Good job, Teresa.
Very good.
Good job, Teresa.
Excellent. Now the time is exactly 4 o'clock.
Wow, we're efficient.
Isn't
We're
that
efficient like IT
beautiful?
people.
And no one's running to get out.
No.
I mean, that's the amazing bit.
They have closed the door, so I noticed the door.
That is a mess. Well, we'll say goodbye to our webcam partners. And we
Thank
wish
you.
you are here and to participate in this warm, accepting comfort in the
Fun and playful.
Yes, and we will continue to be playful, to be honest, and to learn and to grow. And have a wonderful week. And we will see you back on Saturday. And if you need anything, send me an email. Take my card. It's got the white horse on it. Okay? And anything that you wanted to have more or whatever, we will try to respond.
Why did you pick a horse and a white horse?
It was really funny because when I was speaking in Tokyo, and they said, your card is a white horse that's sacred in our culture. And I said, oh, I hope I didn't. But I ride and I jump. Not higher than 3 feet.
Yeah, but on a horse?
On a horse. Details. What happened is, most of the picture of horses, what do you see? The side view of the head of the horse, or the horse galloping.
Right.
But I wanted to find it, I wanted to feel that horses are just as intelligent as dogs. And horses are very generous. They allow you to sit on their back, and they listen to you. Because the back is very sensitive. Now, I don't do the Western yeehaw kind of thing.
Like this guy over here.
Because you write English, and the back is very sensitive. The bits are very sensitive. They don't even need to be whipped. As soon as the corner of their eye see the whip, they right away will do whatever they want. And then when you pull your thing, you don't pull it, yes, like this, you pull it with your body so that they feel they are part.
All right, that wraps things up for today. Thanks a lot for joining, and I will be in touch with those of you who asked questions that haven't been answered yet, and we'll get you some answers by email. Thanks.